Greetings, Holy One. It was mantra, spoken, chanted, sung, vocalized words, sound. A video that I encountered back in 2021, and it was a very long video, but it was from the Isha Kriya Yoga Foundation by Sadhguru. Namaste, namaskaram. And it was a video that I intuitively was led to began to work with. And the mantra, the sound, the vocalization is what chiefly was responsible for the releasing of the God force energy, of the occult energy of source, divine energy that completely changed my life. And so I offer this technology, this spiritual technology, on the foundation of experience, of direct gnosis, for the ability to change life for the better, to change a person's life in a very empowering, self-empowering fashion. Now, I just saw a testimony from a grown man talking about how his nightly routine is him getting high and playing video games. He plays video games all night after he gets high, and and then he mentioned how he watches his dog go to the window and his dog looks out the window, and how this grown man interpreted his dog looking out the window as his dog was probably seeing UFOs. No, that's not what was going on, sir. It's a disconnection, is what was taking place. Your dog was looking out the window, longing for your companionship, for your connection with this other life form, your dog, rather than you tuning out, being high, playing video games, and ignoring this other life force. That was an invitation. That was an invitation from God for you to reconnect back to the divine network. Because dog is God spelled backwards. Dog is life. God is life. All around us is alive. And that, in essence, is what the science of occultism is all about. Recognizing that all is alive, that all is sentient. And the more that you grow into this knowledge, the more magical your life will become. You will no longer need drugs, video games, because life is alive. Life is the video game. Life is the supreme game. And it is a game to be mastered, to be occultly defined, and not have it defined for you. So I share my experience as best as I'm able to, because yeah, I was doing the same stuff that this guy was doing back in 2021 and for 6 years of my life prior to that. Well, all that changed when I was connected back, when the Holy God Force Kundalini Pentecostal fire was released. All falsehood burned from me. It was the fires of transfiguration, to use occult terminology. So I've been making videos about this stuff one way or another for the last, ever since that experience, September 24th of 2021. I had one channel from YouTube that was banned because I got a little out there. Um, I was still dealing with, when you first become awakened and you realize your divinity, well, you kind of have this crusade that takes place with all of around you, of those forces that were there previously to disempower you. So, but this is the path of allowing divinity to gradually um, take its place within your consciousness, to synthesize within your consciousness. So this is a very real. This energy, these practices are very real to me, and it is a science. And so it was mantra that led to the path that I'm on now, which is a lively conglomerate of words, sounds, which means a word is immortal due to element of Akash, spirit, the God force, Kundalini cosmic energy, Akash, the ether, the fifth element, the mind of God. No word ever distorts, ends, or is erased. Words are powerful. Words are spells. That's why we spell them. That's why that word connotation exists. Hence, it is immortal. Words. The inventor of radio waves and wireless technology, this Marconi, must have taken cue from ascetic Gemini's opinion, verbatim, due to which we can hear the words spoken thousands of miles away in the same tone without being changed or distorted. Not only this, we can even listen to the spoken words even after many years. All this implies that a word neither changes nor distorts, hence it is immortal. Every second descends to us through other rays of the sky. And this is just a little bit of information on the science of mantra, the occult science, secrets of mantra and sound. Um, and so, and so, I'm sharing this knowledge, this testimony of occult science, to see if we can try to get grown men, grown people, somehow disconnected from the matrix, to reconnect to the divine matrix. Because occultism is a science. It is, in fact, it is arguably the science of the future. And this nebulous, mystical presentations, these sort of criticisms of fantasy will be replaced with accurate descriptions of the energetic systems within which a human being lives and works. Energetic systems are a reality. Your words are powerful. Your intention is divine. Occultism can be understood as a science of consciousness. Over time, vague mystical language gives way to clear descriptions of the energetic and psychological systems through which human beings live and act. Occultism, at its best, is not superstition, but a disciplined study of consciousness and energy. As understanding matures, mystical symbolism is gradually translated into more precise descriptions of the systems that shape human experience. So while I'm not perhaps an expert, and I'm not a Rudolf Steiner or Sadhguru or any other such person, I believe the value that I'm attempting to share is the veracity, is the power of these systems. Occultism may be seen as a developing science of consciousness, where earlier eras relied on poetic or mystical language. Future understanding increasingly describes clearly and responsibly the energetic, psychological, and ethical systems within which human beings function. Occultism can be approached as an emerging science of human consciousness. As language and understanding evolve, symbolic and mystical expressions of truth are progressively refined into more accurate models of the energetic systems that govern human life and awareness. Now, within the occult system, I have come to learn that what took place in my life back in 2021 was the third initiation of transfiguration, where my soul energies, where my higher self energies came in, no longer to be distracted by my lower self or that path. And true initiation is measured by integration, service, and lived ethics, not by claims, powers, or status, but lived, the power of the soul power being expressed in your life. And this can also be understood in occult psychology as mastery over the emotional life. Emotional mastery, initiation, and the transfiguration are what this path is all about. It's not about people wearing dark capes, shaving their head, having naked women around, all of that. Satanism is just the bad cop with the good cop of Yahweh. Duality, investigations of duality. This is maturation. The occult science is mastery over the emotional life. A point at which the soul is no longer dominated by fluctuating desire and reaction. Rather than being imprisoned by emotional forces, the individual gradually learns to use emotion consciously. Emotion is energy in motion. Your thoughts, your attention, your intention. To use all of that energy, which we can call emotion, consciously, shaping desire and feeling in service of higher purpose. At this point, emotional stabilization develops. Intuition, the deeper counterpart of aspiration, begins to guide decision making more consistently. This process is not quick. Traditionally, it is said to unfold over long periods of effort, reflection, and lived experience as the many expressions of desire are gradually brought into balance. Once emotional reactivity is largely brought under control, progress in inner development tends to accelerate. Altruism deepens. The impulse to serve strengthens, and the individual begins to perceive more clearly how their abilities and circumstances can contribute meaningfully to the greater good. This stage is sometimes associated, talking about the third initiation of occult science, is associated with what is known as the transfiguration, a symbolic term describing the point at which the soul's influence becomes dominant in thought, motivation, and action. Mental discipline becomes increasingly refined, not as suppression, but as clarity. The ability to work consciously with thought, intention, and meanings. This period between emotional mastery and the full mental integration of your soul energy is often challenging. Old patterns of illusion, confusion, and glamour may still arise, creating phases of uncertainty or inner struggle. Yet with perseverance, discernment, and ethical intent, the mind becomes an effective instrument of the soul rather than a servant of habit or fear. Gradually, the presence of the soul becomes more continuous rather than intermittent. Now, soul, your higher self, the more powerful aspect of yourself, becomes more in charge. This increased illumination can initially complicate life, bringing greater responsibility and awareness, but ultimately provides the coherence and inner freedom needed for genuine integration. The third initiation in occult science represents the point at which the soul and personality function as a unified whole. Symbolically, this marks conscious entry into the spiritual life, not as withdrawal from the world, but as a deeper engagement with it through service, clarity, and responsibility. At this stage, the individual is no longer primarily motivated by personal ambition, emotional reward, or reactive thought. The personality becomes a practical instrument. Your ego becomes a practical instrument for the soul's purpose, adapted to ordinary life while guided by higher values. The so-called transfiguration does not imply perfection or escape from human conditions, but a profound reorientation. Pleasure and pain lose their power to dominate, and life becomes increasingly aligned with meaning, service, and inner freedom. And esoterically speaking, within occult science, this stage also represents a clear ethical divide, self serving manipulation, the white magician and the black magician part. The black magician no longer has power over your life, however clever or disciplined. The self serving dark lodge cannot coexist within genuine spiritual integration. Only alignment with goodwill, responsibility, and the higher will can sustain the deeper stages of development. And shared as symbolic spiritual psychology and inner development, not as literal claims offered for reflection, study, and practical application. So, this occult science, this parting of the ways of the third dimension, which is the domain of the Dark Lodge, of this path of occult science, and this particular stage within occult science, transfiguration, is the final parting of the ways between the black and white magicians. For his selfish and ambitious purposes, the brother of darkness can largely simulate the requirements of physical and emotional control. They can wear turbans on their head, they can adopt the garbs of the holy person, but they are still money seeking black magic practitioners. But they no longer can fool. They can fool within the parameters of the first two initiations, but their evil intent cannot tolerate and survive the truly spiritual atmosphere which will be engendered at the time of the transfiguration by the loving will of God, emanating from the monad, from the mind of source. The black brother, therefore, will never be able to penetrate the precincts of the third initiation. The Shiva Kailash, Shambho, and the Dr. Robs of the world will never be able to penetrate this holy of the holies. And that, folks, is occult science.